Is our reality real? Astronomers and physicists are tirelessly seeking for answers to the most difficult questions about origins of life and creation of the universe. The religious beliefs may offer answers to many of them. They still lack scientific explanations, which would enable a deeper understanding of inner workings of our universe and its space-set fabric. Can computer science help in the search for answers? We already know that DNA code in each biological cell resembles a computer program. But could our universe be just a virtual world running inside an immensely powerful supercomputer with more than 3 spatial dimensions and at least 1 time dimension? Before continuing, we have to understand dimensions and space-set fabric of a universe. There are a lot of videos on this topic on YouTube, but let's briefly describe the basics. You can draw on a sheet of paper in 2 dimensions, namely length and width, which are perpendicular to each other. If you draw an ideal straight line, it just has length and no width, and it is therefore one-dimensional. If you draw a perpendicular straight line to it, it also has width and no length, so it is also one-dimensional. But if you draw a rectangle, it is composed of lines belonging to both dimensions, and it is 2-dimensional. What about 3 spatial dimensions? Let's fly a small drone until it sits on the floor. It is pinned to 1 point in space. As it starts flying, we can direct it to any point in the space, which is defined by 3 dimensions: length, width, and height. What about a time dimension? Though the drone can fly towards any point in space, it can only go back to a previous position in space. But it can never fly back in time. Its battery will drain and it will have to be recharged no matter which route it flies. But if it breaks, it won't be able to fly again until it is repaired. But could it fly backwards and forwards in time? It would need no repairs, and it would also be able to fly infinite alternate routes within its battery's reach without a single recharging. Do we live in a supercomputer? Our universe has 3 spatial and 1 time dimension. If it is indeed a virtual universe, it must be running in an immensely powerful virtualization supercomputer host that exists in another universe with much more spatial and 1 or more time dimension. Many questions about its complexity and availability of resources and time needed for its construction arise almost immediately. But it may be wrong to conclude that such a supercomputer would have been impossible to build, because from the inside of our universe we cannot exactly tell what kind of physics would have applied to the universe where the supercomputer would have existed. Its immense processing power would have nevertheless greatly benefited from extra space and time dimensions, and it would have been inconceivably more powerful than all the supercomputers of our universe. However, carefully tailored laws of physics also seem to be tailored to the fabric of our universe. Nothing can travel faster than light, and the universe also seems to be constantly expanding, which prevents us from exploring it too far, reaching the borders of our universe and even explore beyond them. But must there be anything beyond the borders of our universe? As some astronomers and physicists suggest, no, the outer space may also be void or undefined. It doesn't make sense to define it, if none of us can't reach it. Redefining what is real. Reality is something that we live every day, and something that we cannot escape without consequences by simply pressing a button on a computer keyboard or by a thought in our minds. There also seems to be a rule that the ones who die cannot re-enter our universe or be re-embodied. Our existence in this universe therefore should not be perceived as a computer game, but rather as our current reality, no matter what we may think of it. But if it was as a computer game, would you choose play it? I rather believe that our existence in the universe instead has a meaning, and it is more of a test of our ethics and virtues throughout of our lives, and also a lifelong learning. If our universe is indeed virtual, then the supercomputer host running it must exist in a much more complex afterlife universe with a much larger number of space and time dimensions. A lifelong learning in a much less complex universe should then prepare us for a happy and fulfilling life with the ones who died before us. But may we also believe that the afterlife universe is strictly divided to 2 sides, good and bad, which we are used to call paradise and hell. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe buttons if you liked the video.